welcome tonight's guest. She's a triple threat in the sense that she threatened me 3 times today. MTV's hottest VJ, aside from Matt Pinfield, host of Kennedy. She's never exercised her right to remain silent. Outnumbered co-host Emily Campagno. She's like an alarm clock. Will not stop making noise until you pay attention to her. Fox News contributor, Cat Tiff. And they did his tattoos with the Seattle Space Needle. My massive sidekick in the NWA World Television Champion, Iris. Emily, so many things to talk about with you. I guess I should start with we haven't talked about what happened with CNN, have we, this week? You and I. We haven't had a conversation.
Not yet.
Maybe we should. Let's go somewhere. No, what do you think's going on? What's happening?
Well, I think this is the consequence of everything that you laid out perfectly, which is them existing in an echo chamber, and the fallout is real. If you mean in part the sort of Chris Zucker thing, that fallout, that's all born out of Chris claiming that he is owed millions.
Yeah.
It's all about money, right? He says, well, the reasons that you terminated me, Zucker blessed at the time. In fact, he encouraged my brother Andrew to come on. He encouraged me to do these things. And so it's
the lady, right?
Yes.
Allison Gullis.
Yes.
Thank you, darling.
So there's uproar there as well. Why does she get to hold our job? Ironically, under the state law that Chris's brother helped initiate, she would be subject as well to termination. So there's a lot going on there behind and in front of the scenes. And in terms of, I thought your diversity point was really interesting, because in the Joe Rogan thing, when you see the amount of public figures who have come out in support of Joe Rogan, that's pretty diverse, right? Everyone from The Rock to Marianne Williamson to Jewel, there's sort of a diverse representation. They're athletes and the like. And that tiny group of basically Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young who are canceling themselves, they're all the same, right? They're a much more...
CNN uses the same clump of consultants and experts for their network, and all Rogan does is look for other people. By the way, Barbara Streisand has also joined the boycott of Spotify, which makes her part, Kennedy, of the Streisand effect.
Oh, yes.
Right. Barbara Streisand is fulfilling the Streisand effect by drawing attention to the very thing she's criticizing.
Yes.
That could make my brain explode.
Yes, and now because of that, everyone has access to the beach in Malibu. Thank you so much, Barbara. But it's really interesting because Joe Rogan at least is being honest about what he's doing. He's like, yeah, I'm just a guy who has questions, who's talking to another person.
Yeah.
And sometimes we do it for 3 hours.
Right.
And people go, oh, I want to listen to that because I didn't even think of that question. That's great. So he's being very honest about what he's offering. CNN is full of hot wind. Because, they're saying we are a trusted news network. We have a health department and a newsroom, and we're newsy news people, and you should trust us to get your news.
Right.
But that's not true. This was actually a very powerful guy who had failed upward through several media companies, who thought that Andrew Cuomo was going to be president, hitched his wagon to the Elder Cuomo star and kept the dumb meathead employed to pacify Andrew Cuomo and also have a mouthpiece at CNN. And I just want to apologize for something. Last night on my Fox Business show, I called Jeff Zucker. I said that he was Jabba the Hutt's foreskin. And I want to apologize for that because I wish I had saved that and said it on your show first.
Wow, that's quite an image. And I had such a good point to make on your point, but now you've like a pull cue, you just went poop, and you knocked my idea out of my head with that thought. Ugh. Kat, is the legacy media dead?
Not yet.
Nope.
But I think also if people only saw CNN from watching clips on this show, which I think a lot of people do, they would be shocked at, those are actually really well-produced clips.
Yes.
Most of it doesn't even look that good. It's like some guy on a Zoom call in a basement somewhere, and, it's cutting in and out. It's like nobody would ever want to watch that, no matter what they're talking about. And again, when Stelter's, to your point, when Stelter says Joe Rogan wings it, it's like that's what people like.
Yes.
That he goes in being like, I don't know, I want to talk to this guy, see what this guy thinks, and we'll have a conversation. You don't need to watch Brian Stelter's show to know what he's going to say. You already know.
Yeah, that's true. I like to watch it with the sound off, Tyrus.
I believe you do. Before we get to the whole Stelter thing with you,
Yes.
I was confused. I always thought Jabba had the same problem that mermen had, since their bottom half is a fish and his is a worm. I didn't think. So I guess
You are fact-checking a disgusting joke.
Hey, it was a great joke, and
you.
it made you think.
you.
Because I thought, I always have thought that he had the same problem.
Kid
But apparently
Prince-
I was wrong. Listen, don't.
Yes.
I know
What?
how much Brian Stelter means to you. And I know deep down in places where you don't want to bring up unless we're sitting around you that you're worried about him not being on TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you won't see him anymore.
No, I know. That's the problem.
So last
be
night,
saved.
I believe we have the transcripts
Yes.
or the tape, however you want to put it.
Sure.
Where I asked a question.
If there's any artists watching the show tonight, if you could please draw me a picture of baby Gutfeld resting in Stelter's bosom, that would be so amazing.
And Greg,
Yes.
your wish was your fans' command. And an Iraq veteran named Clutch has provided us with your dream.
That is so adorable.
So, we'll get-
Well done.
so you'll always be together.
Oh, that is beautiful.
We'll get it framed.
Nice.
Keep it in your cabin and drink wine to it.
I think that is
Why do-
almost exactly the proportions, right?
Yes, 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 yes.